Yo, Diggity Dogs, this is me, AJ Beast, and welcome back to another video, and I am going to be talking about the Giants. I'm going to be talking about the big loss that they have and why I believe it is the worst one this season. Hope you enjoy. It's time to talk about the worst game the Giants have had this season. So the Giants lost in very convincing fashion against the New England Patriots 33-15. And don't let the score fool you. This game was a blowout from the first half. As going into the half, it was 7-30, I'm pretty sure. And I have a lot of things to say about this game. Most importantly, mainly has to do with special teams. Patriots were able to make it down the field and not only get good field position, but even get a special teams touchdown. And ultimately, special teams is what kind of killed this game overall. I mean, like I said, there was that touchdown. Then Hunter Olszewski got hit pretty hard. I'm not blaming him for that. Ultimately, I think if anyone got hit like that, they would not have been able to keep the ball in their hands. Don't get me started on Younghoe Koo. Oh my gosh. Like, I have never in my time of watching football have seen someone completely missed. Like, look at this. Look at that. How do you look at that? How do you let that happen? How does that happen to the extent where we look like a complete laughingstock? One of the things I've mentioned in the past when it came to this Giants team is that overall, they've always looked like a college or high school team because because the competition wise, they just don't have it. And ultimately, that's what it looked like out there today with special teams. I will say, for the most part, offense was doing the best they could. They weren't getting the run game going. And against this defense, I'm not surprised. Not saying I'm giving them any leeway for this loss, because at the end of the day, you should be able to make it down the field. Jackson Dart in his return, I said I wouldn't give them leeway, but I'm going to give him a little bit just because he just came back from concussion protocol. So overall, he didn't have a bad game by any means. But Theo Johnson, however, I am not happy with Theo Johnson. Watching him all game, he was Dart's number one target, just from what I saw. I think he had about 8 targets, and 3 of them were received by him. And I will give him, some of them weren't the prettiest throws. Some of them were hard catches to make. But some of them went straight into his hands. So I'm not... Catch the ball. You could be one of the best tight ends in this league, Theo, if you just catch the ball. Because you're making the routes. You're making the potential plays. But the thing is, it doesn't matter unless you actually make that play. Once again, Abdul Carter was suspended throughout the first drive of the defensive game. So ultimately, I'm getting to a point where if he's getting punished for constantly missing meetings and constantly missing things, just suspend him for the game. He's not going to learn. If this keeps on occurring and there's another potential suspension for a game, just suspend him for the game. Because he's obviously not learning from losing the opportunity to be out there on defense for the first drive. And ultimately, I don't really care if he impacted the game at all. If he's not at meetings, if he's not disciplining himself, then he should be punished for that. Ultimately, I don't want this team to be that team that's going to let things slide just because, oh, you're this player or you're that player. That's not a winning team. That's a losing team. That's a team that's desperate. And that's what I saw from the Giants. If you're too afraid to take him out completely for doing bad things. Now, maybe that might seem harsh. But at the end of the day, like I said, this is the second time that this has happened. So if he does it again, just suspend him for the game. Don't do this like first drive, first half, first quarter. I don't want any of that. Just suspend him for the game. I'm really upset about Abdul Carter. And yes, he made his first official sack in the books. But ultimately, it doesn't matter because we lost. And even though that happened, even though, there were good things I saw from the defense, they were getting to Drake May pretty quickly. Not every play, but some plays. But what I saw from defense is that we need not an overhaul. Well, yeah, we need an overhaul. Because at the end of the day, what they showed me is that they can't tackle for anything. And every single time, that's the thing, is a lot of what pissed me off the most was a lot of these runs that would occur could have been avoided if the guy who literally was there at the scrimmage line had hands on the running back, no matter who it was, and they just slip off. Like, were you guys lathered in butter last night? Because at the end of the day, it looked like you were letting receivers, running backs, hell, even Drake May slip through your fingertips. It's just embarrassing. I think I covered all my grounds. Ultimately, it was a disappointment game. One of those games where... And the reason why I call it the worst, the reason why I see it as the worst game this season is, unlike the Falcons game, I feel like this game was one where everyone failed. Because I'd say a lot of those interceptions and fumbles in the Falcons game, that was sort of mostly on the offense. This was a special teams issue, a defense issue, and somewhat an offense issue. Ultimately, the defense of the Patriots came to play, and they came to destroy. And that's exactly what they did. They were ruthless today. They were making big hits. There was a hit that was, Jackson was sort of inbounds, so technically it wasn't unnecessary roughness, but the way Jackson Dart flew, it was rough. Oh, this as well. Jackson Dart, this is a message straight to you. I love you, man. You have been one of the most exciting quarterbacks I have seen in the past few years. All I'm asking for you, my dude, please slide. Please slide. If there is any chance that you are going to get tackled because you are not a running back, you are not a receiver, please, please, please slide. You just came back from concussion protocol, and I thought you were going to get another concussion. Please be safe with the ball. Please, please. I do not care. I'd rather you slide and be short than you not sliding and having to miss the season. That's just my mentality. Yes, do whatever it takes to win, but make sure you're going to be able to fight to live another day. That is my message to you, Jackson Dart. I love you, though. Love you. You had an okay back game. I think because it was a coming back game from concussion, I'll give you a little leeway, like I said. But overall, disappointing game. At this point, I'm just fire Joe Shane, please, because he clearly did not make this roster to win. The defense looked terrible for the most part, like I said, they were just getting ran through when it came to the run defense. Ultimately, we need players that are going to be able to lock people up when they actually are able to get their hands on them. Because Joe Shane's not doing that. He's not giving this team the best outcome to win, you know? And I'm not putting it on the coaches because at the end of the day, these are interim coaches. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they can only do so much with what they've been given for a team. So, ultimately, that's my thoughts on the game. That's my thoughts on this season. Let me know what you think. Do you think this game was the worst game this season? If you like my ramble on Giants, I have another video on the channel about basically everything that's been going on this season. So watch that if you want to. But leave a like. Let me know in the comments, do you think this was the worst game? Do you think this was the worst Giants game that they've had this season? Because that's how I'm feeling right now. Like I said, I know the Falcons game was pretty bad, but I think this one was worse. But yeah, let me know. Subscribe if you're new. And yeah. Yo Diggity Dogs, AJ Beast is out.